And what she did was disgusting. And I am not going to accept her spin of this. It's disgusting and gross to mock someone who is disabled just because you don't like them. And if
this is what the left has become, an angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic.
Met MAGA? Have you been to a MAGA rally where Trump is mocking a disabled journalist or a POW or something? You don't agree with what she said, right?
Well, her explanation was that she wasn't referring to that policy. If she
So you buy that?
But actions speak louder than words. And in this instance, I think...
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this panel. I'm warning you, this is going to piss you off. This is incredible with this fake outrage. Check this out and we'll talk about it.
All right, Jasmine Crockett apparently subscribes to the "if you can't beat them, do what some of them do" school of thought. Here is what the Democrats said about the Republican governor of Texas, Greg Abbott.
We in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey.
Now, Abbott can't walk, requires the use of a wheelchair. Crockett insists she was talking about Abbott's policies and not alluding to his condition, before adding that MAGA can't really say anything because they support a president who has mocked disabled people in the past. It is worth noting, Scott, that she has, in the past, made a tweet that did refer to wheels and rolling before.
Yeah, and she tried to walk it back and obviously forgot about her previous commentary using that exact same insult. I don't know how the Democrats came to appoint Jasmine Crockett as the unquestioned leader of your party, but thank God. And I think what she should do is go on TV twice as much as she is right now, maybe 3 times as much, because every time she appears and makes one of these mistakes, says something radical, it only further divides her party from the rest of the other 80% of America who can't stand this. But the problem is there's an audience for it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's audience cheering on Tesla vandalism. I hear the Daily Show audience cheering on attacks on Elon Musk. I hear the human rights audience cheering on an attack on a man in a wheelchair. And I realize this is what the left has become, an angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic.
How can you take any of this serious? This is truly incredible coming from Democrats. And watch Democrats fall for this stupid trick and fake outrage and condemn Jasmine. That will piss me off if they do that. This is the party that's doing everything they can to get rid of DEI. Even when it doesn't exist, which includes people with disabilities. Incredible.
First of all, have you met MAGA? Have you been to a MAGA rally where Trump is mocking a disabled journalist or a POW or saying we should punch him out? I mean, it is rich. And let me tell you, I have been very, very out there on criticizing Trump for that disgusting, disgusting rhetoric that has coarsened the language around politics. It's gross. He's why we got here. And what she did was disgusting. And I am not going to accept her spin of this. It's disgusting and gross to mock someone who is disabled just because you don't like them. And if Democrats, this is your idea, this is what your party is going to do now, is do Trump but gross but worse and then pretend it's not. I'm not here for this, and please do better. Please, this cannot be the answer for the future of the Democratic Party.
I mean,
What the heck is she talking about? Guys, without context, obviously you shouldn't make fun of somebody that's on a wheelchair. And first off, Governor Hot Wheels, that's such an insult. This is what I say about Republicans. They're such fake outrage snowflakes, always complaining about something. Really, Hot Wheels, she could have said a lot worse. And I'm sorry, this is not a good faith argument. Jasmine Crockett, whenever she's on TV, 95% of the time, she's fighting against the constant attacks on DEI, which again includes people of color, people of different genders, women, people with disabilities. This is incredibly bad faith argument. This is literally all she does.
I think actions speak louder than words. And in this instance, I think we have a president who, when the plane crash happened in Washington, D.C., he blamed it on people with disabilities. When RFK says that autism is a threat to the American way of life, which is a disability, apparently the White House has ended ASL, American Sign Language interpreters, in briefings, which is making it inaccessible. Questioning and gutting Social Security, which a lot of disabled people rely on, Medicaid, Medicare, people rely on. And in his first campaign, mocking disability. Two wrongs don't make a right, but actions speak louder than words. And the policies of the Republican, including undermining special education, ID, the Individuals with Disability and Education Act, making sure that schools are not going to be accessible. Those are the actions of this administration. Those are the actions of the Republican Party. I would rather folks be demonizing those things than...
But to be clear, you don't agree with what she said, right?
Well, her explanation was that she wasn't referring to that policy. If she
So
was,
you buy that?
But here's the thing. If you make fun of somebody because of their disability, I do not agree with that. As a person with a disability, as a person who has family members with a disability, as a person who has taught children with a disability, that is not acceptable. She said that's not what she was doing, and so I know Jasmine, and I believe Jasmine if that's what she was saying.
Well, I don't know her yet, and so...
Oh, God, here we go with Van Jones. God, I said this before. Wherever the wind is blowing, he feels out the sentiment for that day, and he goes that way. I don't know what Van Jones really believes in. And, guys, let me just show you a clip really quickly, just to give you a visual update and how fake this outrage is. Check this out.
By a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said.
And how quickly, guys, they forget just a few months ago, he was calling those on the left the enemy of the American people. Or how about the firing squad thing he said about Liz Cheney? Or all these disgusting things he's ever said about women that just critique him, from horse face to fat and disgusting. Immigrants are poisoning the blood of the nation, literally lifting words directly from Hitler. You'd think Republicans would be more disgusted and outraged by those comments. But no, Governor Hot Wheels is such an offensive comment. Guys, let me know in the comments whether you have a disability or not, if you found that offensive at all. I'm sorry. This is insane to me.
Here's how I see it. She's new. She's young, and she's trying to find her way. I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough, and I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that's going to be as useful. I even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful, and I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. But I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight, but this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take this as lessons. You talked about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear is that no lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making
Scott,
unfair jokes and people are roaring, when you have politicians being vulgar and saying what's the lesson? What's the audience? It says a lot about the audience.
But what we're trying to deal with is...
He just mentioned a comedian on the left making unfair arguments or whatever he said. Does he forget the comic that was in Madison Square Garden calling Puerto Rico an island of trash? We're living in a twilight zone, guys.
Is that Trump has done this and he's been successful.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody who does this stuff and they're successful, you start thinking, well, is that the right way? I would like for us to say it's not, but I think it's hard for us to hear Republicans scolding us on it when your guy does it all the time. We are trying to find a way forward. Jasmine is too important to make these kinds of mistakes. I think she has a bright future. I hope that tonight she's looking and says, you know what, I don't have to do that kind of stuff to get an applause line. She's too important for us to make those kind of mistakes.
John, and her tweet, her not so apology, I would call it, she said she was talking about his policies. Let's look at the policies of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a state that my parents reside in. 2023, 2024, it was the #1 state that most Americans moved to, a Republican state. The second largest economy in the country. It would be the 8th if it were indeed a country itself. The fastest job growth in America right now is out of Texas. That's Republican policies. Those are conservative policies. That's why Republicans maintain leadership in 2024
It's also the state
moving forward.
where women don't have the right to bodily autonomy.
Well,
A woman literally just died from not
And
being
it's a
able
state
to-
with the greatest economic prosperity in this country.
but
Those are
don't-
good policies that she said she's against.
And don't run over dead women.
Stand by, both of you, for a moment.
All right, let me give you my spiel. And yeah, like, and he will mention a statistic like that. This Texas is #1 economics, whatever he said, but ignores that the top 5 most uneducated states, doing most poorly, are red states. Like, these people, they're incredible. And this thing about Crockett, unfortunately, this is where we are. Trump started saying these kinds of disgusting things. The Republican Party followed. The media covers it like crazy. And then they're able to come on TV and speak more about it and let everyone else speak more about the issues that they care about and why what they said is not really what they meant. Unfortunately, this is the climate we live in. And to me, when I see Jasmine Crockett do that, do I like the comment itself? Of course not. But in context, you'd be foolish to think that she's has anything against disabled people. And to me, what that looks like is a fighter. That she's taking her gloves off and she's fighting fire with fire. If they don't want this kind of language, look at the president. Maybe you guys should just stop. Why is it us always that we have to extend the hand? We have to be the bigger person. This is unbelievable. It's this fake outrage, and I hope the Democrats don't fall for it. Let me know in the comments what you think, whether you disagree, agree. Subscribe if you're not. It really helps the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.